Who's Corvair under glass?
Oh, mine.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm Sean. How you doing?
Good, good. Manny
So,
Picasso.
hey, Manny. There's a story here you got to tell me.
Okay. It is a story that I would love to share.
So welcome to another episode of Junkyards and Barn Finds with Sean, and I'm Sean. So, and here's the thing, I've been for 170, and the million people that have watched my channel know every time I go to a junkyard, there's like a Corvair. It's like becoming a running joke that every place I go,
yes,
I'm like, you can't have a junkyard in the United States unless you have at least one Corvair sitting there.
And everywhere I go for gas, somebody comes up, I had one.
Yeah. These are like, I have never seen, like I said, you need to have them. I found them in every state from here to New Jersey to South Carolina. Every time I go to junkyard, there's at least one Corvair.
Yes.
So tell me about, because this kind of reminds me of the Hemi under glass car, but the poor man's edition.
Exactly. It was more or less the poor man's version of the Ferrari. Somebody created the concept and patented it, actually, the kit. In 1966, his name was Tread Trever. He's passed away since. They were competing with the mid-60s exotics at the time and doing really well. Well, I saw this in 2015. I was bruising the internet, probably looking for your channel. And muscle cars came up. I'm hitting one and looking at the other suggestions, and I see a Corvair, and I click on it. I never looked at these cars, mind you, all my life.
Right.
I see this V8 gold and black, kind of opposite color style, going through the mountains in California, and I'm as intrigued. And they did a 15-minute video, or maybe 12 minutes. You could go on there today and see it. And I've seen it, and I said, I have to do that. I have to feel that driving. This mid-engine concept was unbelievable. And I did my homework. I found the kit in North Carolina on Craigslist, the conversion kit. I went up to Charlotte, picked that up. I did a lot of questions. I thank God for the internet, because I found people that were building or had built one, asking them questions. 3 years later, I got the body, actually.
Right.
They were going to crush this thing. I saved it from being crushed. It had a trunk load of parts. I sold that. I actually made money when I got the car, but it needed a lot of patchwork. I ended up 3 years later starting to drive it and titled it. I had a title, actually, registered it, insured it, and driving it ever since, everywhere in the state, and enjoying every second of it.
And look at all the money you save from not having to buy a mid-engine Corvette.
Well, that was the thing. Even back when that video was done, they were saying this could be the future Corvette. This was back in 2013. The video was made that I saw. But
so is it
makes sense?
So the weird thing looking at it is, because I used to do SCCA racing.
Right.
So a mid-engine like this would be great for SCCA track racing.
That's what it was designed for.
The way its stance is, it's got the stance of an HRA stance, like it's got a
reason. There's a reason for it. I had smaller profile tires on the back. The RPMs, when I first started driving this, I mean, at 80 miles an hour, you're talking almost 3,500 RPMs. I wasn't used to that sound, and I put bigger tires only to bring the RPMs down. So really, it does look, you nailed it. It does look like a quarter-mile track car, but it was originally designed for road racing.
And of course, the reason there's a piece of glass between is to keep all the stink, smell, and probably a little noise.
All your senses get triggered by this car. It was the heat issue and the sound. I wear earplugs in it. I play in a band, so I know what loud music is, but this was really intense. But to make it drivable, it was perfect. And you have to see the engine. I didn't want to put a cover on the engine like a lot of them do, because that defeats the purpose of having that little unique thing going on.
And so, because I've seen a lot of these cars, right?
Right.
When obviously the V8, the engine's normally here.
Yes.
So Did you, what modifications were, I mean, because you could see, was there any frame modifications or anything for this, or it just part of the kit that was pretty simple to put it in? And I saw the fans
Right.
for the cooling, so tell me a little bit about how you cool this thing.
Okay, what it was is the kit consists of the subframe. There's an adapter for the shifter. It's a rod shifter that goes around the oil pan. It's a C-shaped adapter that goes into that's the original tranny and transaxle.
Okay, so that's not like a turbo 350 or anything. It's
No, that's a Saginaw original Corvair 4-speed, which have the big car gears in it to begin with.
Right.
You could technically not, you could definitely not do hole shots and not break something internally. You would have to roll and then punch the car. That's what it was designed to do. You can't do any hole shots without risking damage.
And what is, so you've got the breathers on here, what is this?
That's just to vent the air also.
Oh, okay. So
and I have them both out the back.
That's more for you.
Yeah.
For
smell, yeah.
Now these cars didn't have radiators in them because they were air cooled.
Yes.
So now at the front, we got a big radiator with a fan. And so what does this ducting, like, are these hoses go all the way back to that engine?
Yes. What I did was I brought 2-inch copper pipe, plumbing pipe.
Okay.
A friend of mine both had to sweat the joints because by the time you do one side, you were getting cool. So we both sweated and then ran the beads. But there's 8 gallons of coolant from front to back. There's a lot of coolant
so
going on.
there's more coolant probably in the hoses than in most cars.
Exactly. Exactly. There's a lot of coolant going on, and that was my biggest concern at the time creating this car. Was I didn't want to be the car that's waiting to get into a car show and puking out fluid and being embarrassed.
Right.
So this is perfect on the highway and in stop and go traffic. So that was a big issue that is not an issue anymore.
Now, is the battery weight up here, is that like help with the steering? So that was like to put some weight up here with the power that's going to the back now?
I had the weight of the fuel. I have this weight.
Oh, so where's the fuel tank? Right there?
The fuel tank's the original one right
here.
Oh, okay. So, you know, just in my mind, I wanted equal weight to feel that nice center. Right,
well, that's the whole reason to have a center engine is so that it's balanced.
Yeah, so I put the weight here as much as I could. Myself, and there's enough weight on me, you can see. Right. And the engine behind me, it really distributed, and you could definitely feel the difference in handling versus a front engine car.
Now, did you change any of the front suspension on any of this?
Yes, I lowered one coil in the front. I put Bilstein shocks on it. I put heavy-duty sway bars. I put disc brakes.
I was going to say, obviously, the brake system is all new.
Yeah, manual's fine. It stops it perfectly. I put the oversized Corvair on the transaxle, the brakes in the back, the ceramic brakes.
But this has manual steering, right?
Yes. And really nothing wrong with it because it's very light to the touch as far as turning it from a dead stop versus like a 55 Chevy. Okay. But you want to feel everything coming through the wheel. It has that old school feel to it, which is not a bad thing.
And then, of course, the paint job is like rat rod type.
That was definitely shake can, not knowing where I was going to go with it.
But nowadays, there's so many rat rods out there that are in the patina and stuff. I love the flag on the top as a veteran. That's awesome.
That meant a lot.
And what number are we here? We're number 3. Is there a significance of 3 or just that was the stencil you had?
This was the color I saw on eBay, and I brought the whatever number. There was no significance to it. I had a 45 on it, a white one, but it was kind of peeling, and that was for my president.
And is that your air conditioning? I see.
That's my air conditioning. That's my speedometers right here.
Okay.
And yeah, and that's about it. Everything was Craigslist. I brought the engine off of Craigslist.
What is the engine?
It's a 66 283, 60 over, mild cam, nothing crazy. I just drive it. I don't do crazy things with it.
It's just fun.
It's just a fun car.
It was just like something to see if you could actually do it. Like like challenge yourself to say, hey.
It took a little around 3 years of having a lot of fun with it, learning, pulling up, meeting people,
I'm sure it gets a lot of looks.
Yes.
I'm sure it gets a lot of looks from people that have red and blue lights that they like at the top. No?
No, I have
Really?
to tell you. And that's why I did it. If I still lived in New Jersey, I would never have built this car. And nothing as far as I'm concerned is legal. I got brakes, I got brake lights, I have blinkers, lights. And I don't.
So you're not going to drive this to Carlisle?
Florida is a great place to have a hot rod.
So I have a question for you guys. I am starting I was thinking of starting another channel. I have been an avid model builder for, well, since I've been about 12, so since about the early 80s. And I've built over 1,000 models, cars, planes, everything. Actually, I sold a whole collection when I sold my house back in 2017. But I got back into model building, and I've been videotaping myself building models. And I wanted to know, is that something you're interested in? If this is something that you think would be better served on its own channel, put that in the comments. If it's something you don't mind seeing on my channel, even if you're not going to watch it, then let me know, because I'm thinking, should I just put it on this channel, and that way if people want to see them, they'll have their own category, or should I just start a whole new channel, like model kits and reviews with Sean on a whole different channel? But let me know. Thanks. April, should they subscribe to this channel even if they don't like cars today for this one?
Probably just for this one.